to go and sell. In the phonies also, as I was told that there are suppliers from Kanilai that they are supplying the phony for phony centers. So all areas in the region here at least are benefited from this privilege. We thank the President very much for this kind gesture, and may God give him long life and prosperity and then good health in his endeavor as a president.
Grts also visited Birkama Youth Center, another selling outlet in the West Coast region.
Birkama is a very big area, and definitely this is not the first time people are coming here to buy meat from this place. So there is a higher expectation that there will be more people. So definitely the supply, if we can have more supply than this, we'll appreciate that, really.
This particular initiative is born out of President Jammeh's concern for the citizen, and many are hailing this move, particularly at this time when many are increasingly planning for the end of Ramadan activities. Louis Mendy, GRTS.
The annual joint session of the Public Accounts and Public Enterprises Committees of the National Assembly will commence on Monday, 1st October 2012. A media release from the Office of the Clerk of the National Assembly reveals that deputies will look into the Auditor General's report on the audited financial statements of central government for the year ended 31st December 2007 and the annual activity reports on audited financial statements of all public enterprises and government agencies for the year ended 31st December 2011. The dispatch also states that the annual press briefing on the 2012 PAC-PEC joint session is slated for Monday, 3rd September 2012 at the National Assembly chambers at 11 a.m. prompt. Permanent secretaries, chief executive officers, that is CEOs, and board members of public enterprises and agencies are requested to attend, while members of the press and civil society organizations who wish to be present are also invited. The release ends. You can monitor GRTS Radio live on our website at www.grts.gm. We'll take our first break now. The news continues right after.
Are you thinking of financing an investment opportunity or simply a reliable banking partner? Zenith Bank Gambia offers you just that. Zenith Bank, West Africa's biggest bank and financial service consortium, puts people first through excellent services and up-to-date technology. With a wide range of banking products and services, including Western Union, RIA, Money Express and MoneyGram Transfer, Zenith Bank prides itself with excellent and efficient customer service delivery with branches and partners around the world. Ramadan Mubarak from Zenith Bank. Zenith Bank, a truly Gambian partner.
Welcome back. Tens of thousands of Malians have converged on the country's main stadium in Bamako to call for peace in the West African state. The rally was organized by the President of Mali's Islamic Council, and while addressing the convergence, Mohamed Dicko called on radical groups in the north to not impose their version of Sharia on people. We have details of that story in this report.
Up to 60,000 Malians gathered Sunday for a giant peace rally in the capital Bamako. 90% of Mali's population is Muslim, but most people are shocked by the violence of two Islamist groups that have taken control of northern Mali. An unusually violent interpretation of Sharia law has resulted in the recent amputation of a man's hand and the deaths by stoning of a couple, provoking outrage. Mohamed Dicko, who organized the peace rally, recently met with the two Islamist groups. As leader of the High Islamic Council, he defends Sharia law, but not the Islamists. We don't want Sharia forced on us. Our Sharia law is based on our faith. The Sharia that is forced on people is not Sharia. Real Sharia law is accepted by everybody. Mohamed Dicko blames the crisis in the north of Mali on widespread corruption, and he called on Mali's politicians to pull themselves together. The regional body ECOWAS, meeting in Bamako Monday, sought to finalize arrangements to deploy 3,300 men. ECOWAS is waiting for a United Nations mandate, while the UN is waiting for an official demand from the Malian authorities. What ECOWAS must do is support the decisions taken by the Malian state. And we want to take Mali's public opinion into account. The Malian government must make an official request for help, and this will determine what we do next. According to the news agency AFP, a West African force would first move to reinforce a transitional regime. The second phase would train the Malian army to fight and reconquer the north of the country.
Egypt's new president has laid down another marker in his battle with the military as to who controls power in the country. Mohamed Morsi Sunday sacked Field Marshal Mohamed Hossein Tantawi, the country's defense minister, for over 20 years. Many hail the move taken by Morsi, who is facing new challenges in the opening month of his reign. We have more in this report.
After just 2 months in power, President Mohamed Morsi took away the power vested in Egypt's military institution. Much to everyone's surprise, he announced the retirement of the heads of the army. Among them was Marshal Hossein Tantawi, the 76-year-old powerful head of defense who symbolized the Mubarak era. The president justified his decision, saying things needed to be freshened up. My intention did not concern one person in particular. I didn't want to send a negative message to anyone. My aim is to protect the well-being of the nation and of the people. This marks a huge change for Egyptians. Indeed, the military had held the reins of power for over 50 years. Mohamed Morsi is the first democratically elected president. Field Marshal Hussein, who had been a minister for 20 years under Mubarak, had ruled during the transition period. Egyptians must be grateful to the military because they led the country through a difficult period. For the next phase, however, we need change. It must be total, without conflict or control. I feel it was his decision, and it's a good move, because this way the president will have authority. Power will not be divided between the presidency and the military council. The Islamist president has consolidated his position and appointed a new head of the army and vice president. He's also regained the legislative power that was controlled by the army, thus ensuring that the military will concentrate on their protection duties on the border. This as Egypt faces rebellion in the Sinai. Throughout the night, loyalists of the Muslim Brotherhood and Morsi celebrated the historic turn of events on Tahrir Square.
U.S. Republican presidential hopeful Mitt Romney has named Wisconsin Congressman Paul Ryan as his running mate. The conservative politician has extreme views on Medicare and social welfare programs. The Romney campaign has been in full swing as the race for the White House hots up. We have more on that story in this report.
Chose Paul Ryan as his running mate. Ryan, a Wisconsin congressman, is a conservative ideologue whose extreme deficit-cutting proposals include slashing Medicare, the health care system for the elderly, and privatizing social welfare programs. Romney's choice is aimed at reinvigorating a rather lackluster campaign and winning supporters of the Tea Party, the most conservative faction of the Republican Party. Ryan says his proposals are aimed at saving the American dream.
We can either stay on the current path that we are on, a nation in debt, a nation in doubt, a nation in despair, a nation with high unemployment, where we're giving our children a diminished future, or we can change this thing and get this country back on the right track.
Ryan's proposals provide a lightning rod for criticism from Democrats. His views may also alienate some mainstream Republicans, and his proposals to cut Medicare could increase President Obama's chances in swing states such as Florida with a high number of elderly voters. The choice of Paul Ryan enables Obama to show Americans that they're confronted with two radically different visions of society.
Congressman Ryan is a decent man. He is a family man. He is an articulate spokesman for Governor Romney's vision. But it's a vision that I fundamentally disagree with.
Sensing the danger, Romney prudently sought to distance himself from his running mate's radical budget proposals. In a televised interview Sunday, he said he had his own budget plan. Romney also said that cuts in Medicare would be done over time and not affect current senior citizens or those approaching retirement age.
together.
We'll now take our second break.